my first question is, how much did this cost Disney? It's got to be absurd to get Robert Downey Jr. to come back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and a weird way to do so. Instead of having him reprise his Iron Man role that everybody loves, be the Tony Stark that made this entire franchise awesome, they're turning him into a bad guy, which reeks of weird multiverse crap and a bad plot for this new Avengers movie, actually a pair of Avengers movies that are going to come out of this. We'll see exactly what happens in just a moment, and I'll give you a reason why this just reeks of desperation on every level. All right. I'm a professional comic book writer, everybody, and so I understand these plots and how bad they can be from Disney. I don't think this is going to be good whatsoever. I mean, that's just going to be my take right away. That doesn't mean it's not going to sell, but I do make my own books, and they're way better than anything Marvel's come out with in years. If you like good science fiction stuff, this is a great replacement universe for Star Wars. I would absolutely recommend grabbing the Hidden Emperor sci-fi graphic novel. We just hit $20,000 on Kickstarter. Thank you guys so much for coming in hard on this. Amazing. We're going to be joined by a mystery guest writer who's going to be writing a short story, a science fiction legend, who I'm going to be announcing very, very soon via the updates. So grab this today, or at least hit remind me on the project so you can get the updates and see who knows going on. Thank you so much for supporting our channel and supporting our artistic efforts here. It means the world to us. And yes, onward and upward, absolutely crushing it. Thanks again. Okay, and yeah, I forgot to tell you to hit the like and subscribe button because I'm a bad YouTuber, but whatever, do that too. Oh my gosh. So yesterday, San Diego Comic-Con, the big reveal, Robert Downey Jr. Just took off a Doom mask, showed up, and there he is. So he's going to be Doom. I thought, oh gosh, well, he's going to be the villain of the Fantastic Four movie, and maybe save this from Pedro Pascal fatigue as the Diversity Fantastic Four movie starts to come out. But no, this is actually an Avengers film that's happening. And then I start to think about, like, what led up to this? Why is this happening? And why is Disney pulling out their ultimate Hail Mary, the one actor who everybody loves, to try to get him back in a role in order to save their franchise? And that's exactly what it is. They need to save their franchise, and this is about the only thing they can do. Now, it's going to be a woke subversion anyway. That's part of the agenda, of course, and this is supposed to distract you from the woke agenda and actually push it further at the same time. But gosh, they've really just screwed everything up. A big problem they had was, of course, Jonathan Majors, who played Kang, who they set up all these films with. They came from Ant-Man, from Loki. He was supposed to be this multiverse villain who's like screwing with timelines and stuff like that. There was going to be a big Kang war, was supposed to be the next Avengers film. All of that went right down the tubes because the guy was beating the crap out of his girlfriend. It came out. Dude got convicted. That was it. And crazy stuff. They couldn't go forward with it. Now, they had to scramble quickly to try to figure out something to make this work. And so, of course, what could they do? They couldn't just replace the villain with anybody. They couldn't just start over from scratch because the MCU's in such dire straits from all their other recent strings of failures. There's just nothing for anybody to root for. And so they probably just begged Robert Downey Jr. to come back and do this in order to save the franchise. And his presence, I'm not going to lie about this, his presence is going to sell tickets for sure. They saw exactly what was going to happen with Deadpool and Wolverine, which is the highest rated or the highest selling grossing opening weekend for a rated R movie ever. And it's all because of the love everybody has for Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. They know that the nostalgia member berries for the movies works, and so and even before the movie came out, because they know after focus groups exactly how well something's going to do, and how poorly something's going to do. They don't have to wait for woke. There's never any surprises with opening weekends. They know based on the read of the room. And so they were like, hey, we better get this going for Avengers too if we want this franchise to continue making money and printing money for us like this. It's not going to do so as of current. Now, if you look at why this is just going to be another woke bait and switch and it's just going to be a disaster, who do you have for the Avengers at this point? It's going to have to be led by Brie Larson, Captain Marvel. And so the ultimate person everybody hates to see lead a movie, who's done 2 failures of movies so far that audiences have hated, including one of the worst, I think actually was the worst performing Disney Marvel movie ever, The Marvels. is now going to be the head of these Avengers. And who's going to be part two? It's going to be Black replacement Captain America, which that movie's going to fail pretty badly also. And then who else do you got on the team at this point? Are you going to throw in Shang-Chi from another failure movie? You going to throw in Kate Bishop from the failed Disney Plus Hawkeye movie? It's the diversity Avengers, the DEI Avengers, the Avengers replacement team. Corporate decided we were too white and male, and so we had to make sure the Avengers were for modern audiences. And so those modern, diverse audiences are going to be set up to face off against a white male army that all looks the same of clone dooms, right? Or multiverse dooms or whatever, which are going to be Robert Downey Jr., right? So the whole optic that's being set up intentionally here is another DEI craziness of the good guys are actually the diversity team, and the bad guys are the ones you love and remember, those white males who have ruined everything. You see how they immediately, it's an obvious setup. It's an obvious bait and switch, and they're going to try to use Robert Downey Jr.'s presence in order to obfuscate from that. And that's really the lesson that they've learned here. It's not that they're going to stop being woke. It's not that they're going to actually really try to provide audiences what they want. They're going to try to push this woke agenda in more subtle ways now, in ways that aren't as exactly flying in your face with like weird Ms. Marvel, trying to be a lesbian or whatever. Not Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau. Those things were in that movie. They were subtle, but they were there. They know that like when they throw it in your face that it just gets audiences out of the theaters immediately. But if they can weave it in a little more subtly, that's what they're going to try to do. Because SJW is always double down. They're not going to just immediately abandon this. So this is going to be a pair of Avengers movies. As said before, it's going to start with Avengers Doomsday, it's going to be called. And then the second one's going to be called Avengers Secret Wars, which they're going to be back to back. Now, these are going to be coming out in 2026 and 2027. And very odd making Robert Downey Jr. the villain rather than actually the hero that he's been. So that is exactly what's going to happen with this sort of deal. So reaction has been pretty positive on Twitter. Of course, everybody's just excited to see Robert Downey Jr. They really are. New mask, same task. Marvel Studios is up there. A bunch of people just in all caps. People are mostly liking this. Some people are like, I'm already checked out of this. Here's another picture of Robert Downey Jr. with the mask that Culture Crave posted. And so I think it just like reeks of desperation. It really just shows that Disney is completely out of ideas. This is pretty funny from Endymion. Great YouTube channel over there. Now that Robert Downey Jr. is Dr. Doom, might I suggest another casting choice that's possible now. That's hilarious. But obviously Disney has no way forward. They don't have any likable heroes that they've promoted over the last 10 years. These movies cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make. Plus, it takes 2 to 3, 4 years to make these movies. So they really don't have this next generation. Even though they tried to set it up and tried to get it going, they failed at it desperately because of bad writing, because of bad acting, and because of the diversity agenda. Nobody actually wants to see this. Here's one actually critical. Could be the laziest movie casting ever. It feels not right. Yeah, it's just a ploy, right? It feels like a marketing gimmick rather than like a, hey, this is a good idea. Now, there is a multi-movie sort of deal beyond the two movies from what I'm hearing from my sources about this, that it is going to be this big setup that's going to go much further than just these two movies. It's going to be a whole phase of Marvel that's going to be revolving around this. And it's been in the works for a little bit until they actually, were able to sign the contract. They didn't know what to do with it. But this is where they're going 2 years in advance. Now, I don't know where they go after this because, again, like you might be able to get this back once. I mean, we got it back once with Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds just now with Deadpool and Wolverine. But it's getting a little too late, and you're not going to be able to push anything further down the pipeline because, again, you just don't have anything going. Chris Gore from Film Threat says, we're not resolving all those loose ends with Kang. That's a hard pivot, but a welcome one. Yeah, and that's good. That whole phase of all the Kang plots is going to get completely abandoned right here. Completely abandoned. They're going to memory hole it, pretend it doesn't exist, and that's exactly, unfortunately, what they need to do. They screwed up the Marvel MCU cinematic universe so badly. They really did. So this is where we're at the moment. I don't have high hopes for the plot of this. It's going to be a weird multiversal nonsense storyline, much like they've been going through before. That stuff's just as tiring as any of the woke stuff they've been pushing, let's be honest. Gosh, we'll watch the train wreck, and people are going to buy it anyway because people are kind of stupid, not going to lie. All right. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure to check out my great graphic novel. If you want good storytelling, this is the place to go. That link's in the description below. Thank you for supporting the channel. We'll be back soon.